Let's roll. It's Friday and it's time.
On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Right.
Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
And that'll do it. It's over. The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world.
We're down to 2, now to 1. Here's Jordan. Yes! It's all over. The Chicago Bulls.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah!
We're off and rolling. Good morning. Whoops. Forgot a picture. There we go. Welcome to the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. If I sound a little subdued, just forgive me because the pretty lady is still very, very ill. She's under the weather, and I promised her I'd keep things to a low roar. So we're going to do that. Wise El Jefe will join a little later. Cole Johnson will join a little later. But now it's time to get down to business. And what kind of business do we start with? The Whip Around, presented by Fanatics. I want to know what it is about a team holding a 16-3 lead that they simply cannot hold, because the Raiders became the second victim of that score last night, as Baker Mayfield threw 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and suddenly the Rams are in the win column. 17-16 the final, with Mayfield throwing the game winner with 2 seconds remaining in the contest, sending Rams House into a fit of hysterics. Happy hysterics. And I still want to know, how in the hell did that happen? I just don't get it. So Bruce Allen is testifying against Dan Snyder. Next. Desmond Ridder will start for the Atlanta Falcons. It's about damn time. He should have been starting the entire year. And before we go any further, I will do the honors on this. Now batting, hitting his bong later, number 420, Wise El Jefe, number 420.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, how you doing, Wes? How you doing, Brian?
Good to see you, my friend. No more COVID?
I'm feeling good. I'm good. I go back to work tomorrow. I took my last piece of medication this morning.
Good. Very good.
I'm feeling good.
And congrats, and you should, because number 99 is staying in New York. So congratulations to the MVP, Aaron Judge, who is on his way to a lot more MVPs. Let's see if he can carry that to a championship. The blog, Playmakers Blog Network joins, says Baker Mayfield. And my next 2 words are, who cares? Oh, turn down. There, how's that? That better? Yeah. Okay, good.
I thought it was just me. I thought it was on my end. Okay, so it wasn't. Okay.
That's why he's the EP. And that's a quick look at the Whip Around, presented by Fanatics. Tell me, how the hell does 2 teams up 16-3, less than 5 to go in the fourth quarter, choke? How does that happen?
Yeah. Lack of discipline, really. I mean, that's really the best way to put it.
I agree with that.
especially last night. So
Oh God.
you have a team at their own 2 with just barely over 90 seconds to go in the game, and you couldn't come up with at least one play to stop the momentum.
Not one.
And
Not
yeah,
one.
yeah. And with both teams, both the Saints and the Raiders, we saw so many defensive breakdowns late. And it's unfortunate because both defenses in these games played well for the first 55 minutes of it.
55 minutes. 55 minutes and not a win to show for it. Awful.
And also offenses have to learn that you can't settle for field goals, because if you settle for too many of them, this will come back to bite you. And that's what happens.
Something I've said quite a few times. Field goals get you beat. Field goals get you beat. And it got New Orleans beat on Monday, and it got the Raiders beat last night.
What's on your mind, Wise?
Just to me, just Josh McDaniels is not a head coach. He's a great offensive coordinator, but he never seems to do well as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
You sound surprised.
I'm not surprised.
I was about to say.
I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised everybody thought the Raiders were going to be good.
Well, okay.
Listen, they have the weapons. They have the weapons.
That's why they thought they were going to be good. Plus, they did make the playoffs last year, and
Yes.
they did have a good showing against the Bengals in defeat. So people thought, okay, well, this team is going to build off of that success, and they did it with a lot of controversy last year. So they figured, okay, well, they're battle tested, they're hardened, and they should be a unit, a more cohesive unit coming to this year.
But you had a different
And
head coach.
you see what happens.
You had somebody that was in the part of the staff last year as the head coach. You bring in Josh McDaniels, and
I always thought it was a mistake. I thought there was a mistake. They should have retained the guy. I can't remember his name.
Rich Bisaccia.
Yeah, they should retain him.
Rich Bisaccia.
Yeah.
They should have retained him for this year because the team rallied around him so vigorously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Bullhead had to decide different.
The bullhead brigand himself.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. Just plain stupid. Speaking of fanatics, let's go to the feedback zone. You know, the playmaker's very happy with that.
You should, because that's been the most exciting thing that's happened to the Rams this year. And I'm not being funny.
No. Especially after a 6-game losing streak.
I mean, I don't think I've seen that. I don't think I've seen the Rams bench that I don't think I saw the Rams bench that excited when they won the Super Bowl in February. I mean, that is how galvanized seemingly Baker Mayfield made that bench when the Rams went up 17-16.
You said a key word, seemingly.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is Amazon paid for some crappy ass games
all season long.
See, people have to understand. Thursday night games are where you have the scraps. Mm-hmm. And Amazon should have known, and they may have, but still, they should have known that if they're going to get into the game, if you're going to try to do it for Thursday night, you're going to get the worst scheduled games of the year, period.
Mm-hmm. And
it used to be Monday night. Now it's Thursday night. And the NFL schedules it that way.
Those games are horrible. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've seen one good game.
I mean, look no further than a game that went to overtime. The Colts and the Broncos. A game went to overtime. Normally, when you say about NFL games that go in overtime, you're thinking, okay, that was a good game.
Mm-mm.
But when
he was crying when it went into overtime. The fact that it went into overtime.
But when the game has 7 field goals and no touchdowns, it was horrible. It was horrible.
You know, I tell you again, what makes it so bad. My wife, who is a Colts fan, looked at me and said, "Babe, I'm not going to make it to halftime," and she went to bed.
And that was a game they won. So that should tell you something.
Yes. She's like, I'm not. She's like, I'm not making it to halftime.
But the funny thing is, I've learned that the Thursday night games are an answer to why people said, remember the talk when ESPN got switched to Monday night. People were saying, well, Monday night games suck.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to say that about Monday nights, and then the NFL is like, okay, we got to fix that. And to varying degrees they have, but we don't really say it as much about Monday night games as we now do about Thursday night games.
Thursday night games is just horrible, man.
Stop.
They should just stick it to Thanksgiving, and that's it.
I agree with you.
I've
been saying that since time immemorial. I'm like, opening night, Thanksgiving Day. That's the only Thursday games you should have, unless Christmas falls near it. Besides that, there should never be a Thursday night game. And I love football.
Ever.
I don't love these games they've been playing.
And what makes
not even the Arizona game where they scored 42 points against New Orleans,
because that was a blowout.
None of the games have been. You thought the Bills and Rams games were going to be exciting,
and the Bills blew
that was a dud.
Well, at least that wasn't on Amazon.
Yeah, the Bills blew the doors off the joint.
Yeah, but it was a Thursday night game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It opened the season. Yeah.
Even though it was the season opener and it was on NBC, it was still a dud.
Yeah.
The Bills blew the doors off the joint.
This is the problem I have about how the NFL schedules Thursday night games. You have teams, for the most part, who play the Sunday before. It's rare you get a team that's off a bye that plays a Thursday. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to do that, I think this would help Thursday night games be better if they want to play Thursday nights, which I believe they do.
Off the bye week.
They should have the two teams that are going to face off be on a bye before they play the game.
Yes. I agree with that.
Because it gives them 11 days before they play, and then gives them 10 days before they play their next game.
And they actually get some practice in and all that. And and all these reps are important. Mm-hmm. Instead of rushing to a damn Thursday game on a short week.
Mm-hmm. And risking more injury than you should. Yeah.
But they don't care.
No,
they don't. They don't.
Because of this.
Are we not entertained?
Yes.
That's all I have to say.
And we as football fans,
we're not
we want to see. Yeah, but we as football fans were like, oh, it's NFL. We got to see it, no matter how bad the quality of the product is.
Yeah.
Got to see it. Says you. Wrong. Can't do it. Can't do it. It's sad.
Yeah. But to your point about McDaniel's Wise, I don't know what the Raiders were thinking, and this guy actually going to bring them any type of prominence. I guess they must have thought he was going to be the quarterback whisperer for Derek Carr. That's the only thing I can think.
Okay, but the coach that they had last year did pretty well with Derek Carr.
He did wonderful with them. He did absolutely wonderful with them.
Guided them to the playoffs. Of course, a lot of that was on Brendan Staley's dumbass.
Don't get me started on that name. But I know Bullhead was thinking, yeah, that bright mind in
Bullhead.
Okay, yeah, he did fail in the Mile High, but that was because he got Tebow. I think we got something here. We got a savage NFL quarterback. I think we have a squad. We went to the playoffs last year. Yeah, I think if we can get McDaniels in here, he can whisper some things into Gar's ear so he can elevate himself to being an elite NFL quarterback, and we should be even better. We actually should contend and win the AFC West. And then they play uninspired football.
And then the season started.
The whole team plays uninspired. How is that possible?
It's the bull. It starts with the bowl cut brigand, Mark Davis. It starts with him. Let's take a break. When we come back, there's someone that needs to answer to a comment I sent to him.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Read the comment section and you'll see. And this is the only time I'll take the show off the rails because we got a lot to do today. Snowman in the Morning with Wise El Jefe and Cole Johnson back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Have you had a chance to visit the brand new Snowman in the Morning shop yet? You haven't? Then what are you waiting for? Go to our new web address, snowmaninthemorning.com/shop. That's snowmaninthemorning.com/shop, where you can shop for all kinds of items like a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a book bag, and everything else that you need to have the same outfits and the same gear that the crew has. And with each purchase, you will be helping the Snow Strong initiative. We got a lot to do in a short time to get there. Go to snowmaninthemorning.com/shop and get the same stuff that the crew has. And when you do that, tell them Snowman sent you. Thanks.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for Monday. Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez,
and it's caught. Debo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense
the throw. Just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes, the coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
It's the fabulous Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. We got a full house. Wise El Jefe, Cole Johnson. You know who's coming in hour 2. Mike Debate scheduled to join us at 9:15. Do our picks. Ben Sutterth at 9:05. And at the bottom of this hour, Sam Shady to talk XFL. But before we get there, now, I got to say, and I will never admit this aloud again, I started this one. Why? There's a fellow in the chat who loves Julian Edelman. God only knows why. So, let me hit the right buttons here. With that thought in mind, there we go. All the buttons have been hit. With that thought in mind, give me my take, please. And I did this. I did it wrong. It wasn't the take that I wanted. Thank you.
Are you wanting? I think
I'm gonna fry his ass. Rod West, sit down.
Oh.
Julian Edelman is not better than John Taylor. Get that through your head. Because there's some things that John Taylor has done that Julian Edelman never did. Like a pair of 90-yard touchdowns in the Monday night game that occurred in '89 against the Rams. Do they have the same number of Super Bowls? Yes, I'll give you that. But that's all I'm going to give you. Let's see. What makes John Taylor better than Julian Edelman? Oh, yeah, his route running, his footwork, his hands. And given the fact that he had the two greatest quarterbacks throwing to him. Ha ha. Not to mention the fact that it was an HBCU that produced John Taylor. And that HBCU, of course, was Delaware State University. Something Julian Edelman cannot say is that he teamed up with another HBCU alumnus, the legendary Jerry Rice, to produce the only tandem from HBCUs to start not one, not two, but 3 Super Bowls together. Now, Julian Edelman was a do-it-all kind of guy when he entered the league. I mean, hell, he was even a kicker with the Miami Dolphins for a while. And in the same way that Steve Young got plucked by Bill Walsh, Julian Edelman got plucked by Bill Belichick. Give you that. But there's a similarity that Rod won't say aloud that Julian Edelman and John Taylor shared. John Taylor started as a punt returner. 2.5 seasons he was a punt returner. The only somewhat advantage I will give to Edelman is that he does have a 99-yard touchdown against the Miami Dolphins. But again, it goes back to the point of John Taylor's got 2 90-plus yard touchdown catches in the same game. Matter of fact, it was Wes Welker. Thank you. It wasn't Edelman. It was Wes Welker. Thank you, Hog TV. My mistake. So Julian Edelman didn't do much except win 3 Super Bowls, except become a good slot receiver. And you may as well take that frivolity off the screen right now because it's false. It's a falsehood. Rod, I answer you this way. Tom Brady wouldn't have known what to do with Charles Haley, with Matt Millen, with Kevin Fagan, with Pete Kugler, with Ronnie Lott. Hell, Ronnie Lott would have hit him so hard he'd have given him more than a headache. So, about this thing that Edelman was a better slot receiver than John Taylor. Where's? You know what? I'm gonna do this the right way.
I'll help you
Hey,
out.
you'll help me out.
Bitch, please.
Not only that one, but hey Bishop, was Julian Edelman better than John Taylor at the slot position?
Oh, you should have asked the bishop earlier.
Hell no. To the no.
Fair use in the house.
To the no.
And I'll leave you with this.
Stop the cap, please.
Now get your ass up.
Thank God, I'm glad that's over. All right. All right. Mr. West, I gotta thank you, sir, for doing the following.
All right, we done giving Rod attention.
You feel better?
We done giving Rod attention.
Yes.
No, he's not.
Let's get back on schedule, please. I'm done.
Thank you.
No, he's not done. He'll say something. He'll say something else about you know who, and then this will go right back off the rails.
No, I won't.
What we were going to do was talk about the playoff picture.
No, we don't. We can do that. Oh, wait, we are going to do that. Okay. The Raiders choked. The Rams are worse. There's your playoff picture. No, I'm kidding.
Well, we're going to talk about teams that actually are a little better
Like
than those.
Like the Chiefs?
Yes, like
the
Chiefs,
Bengals?
Right. And it's quite possible because of the news of Von Miller being out for the year, we might actually see those two again in the AFC Championship.
Yep, because the Bills' defense took a major hit.
Yeah. However, yes, the Bills currently sit up top as the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yes.
That'll change.
The only problem they have had is, until last Thursday, not being able to win against their own divisional teams, divisional rivals. But they will have another test there because they host the Jets Sunday. And then they host the Dolphins the following Sunday. So
they better win both of those.
They got to win both of those. If they're going to lay claim to having the road to the Super Bowl in the AFC going through Buffalo, those 2 games they must win. And then of course they must win the last 2 for sure, which they go to Cincy and they host the Patriots. The middle game of that 5 is they go to Chicago.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah. So I think they may need to run the table in order. I don't
feel sorry for the Bears anymore.
I really
feel sorry for the Bears anyway.
I really believe the Bills going to hold on and get the number 1 seed. They may need to run the table. They may need to be 14-3 to do it, because the Chiefs
are charging fast.
They charge it fast. They play at Denver, then they play at Houston, then they host the Seahawks, then they host the Broncos, and then they go in the season in Las Vegas. All of those games are winnable for them. The toughest game is the home game against Seattle, and that's extremely winnable for them.
Oh, they're gonna blow the doors off Seattle. And Shady Sports Network, it was Edelman. I made that correction during whatever the hell I was doing earlier. It was Edelman. I was thinking it was Welker. I was thinking of that had the 99-yard touch, that had the 99-yard touchdown and the field goal kicking and all that kind of stuff. Victor, you shouldn't feel sorry for the Bears anyway. I don't. I haven't felt sorry for the Bears since 1985.
Now, the Bengals, they currently sit at the number 1 wild card spot, only because of the loss they took at the gun when they faced off against the Ravens earlier this season.
Yeah,
they face off to end the season in Cincy. Their road is they host the Browns, they go to Tampa, they then go to Foxborough, and then they conclude against the Bills and the Ravens at home.
They can easily win 3 of those 4 games.
To me, the Bengals. I think the Bengals might go 3-2 on that one. They might, but they can win them all.
Give me that 5-game slate again.
Okay, so they host the Browns, then they travel to Tampa,
then they go to Tampa. Okay,
then they travel to Foxborough,
and
then they end their season at home against the Bills and at home against the Ravens.
They can win all 5 of those.
It's conceivable they can win all 5. It's also conceivable they can be 3-2. Yeah.
Yeah, 3-2 is more likely. 3-2 is more likely than them running the table, but it's a strong possibility they could win all 5. Yeah. Very strong. But any given Sunday, and that's all it is.
Now, to me, what sucks in the AFC picture, you have the Ravens who currently lead the AFC North and the Titans who lead the AFC South, and both teams. Well, of course, the Ravens have the same record as the Bengals. They hold the tiebreaker because of the game they played in Baltimore. And the Titans, they just are simply the
By
best
default.
of the
It's
worst.
By
It's
default. By
They're-
default.
they-
That
they're-
whole division is just trash.
Here's your
as I said,
tank, here's your
as I
tank
said,
division right there.
as I said,
There are two tank divisions, and they're both
yeah,
South.
I was about to say the AFC South is not as bad as the NFC South, but the Titans are the best of the worst. That's really the best way I can put it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the Titans should hold on to the number 4 seed. I don't think I can see them even entertain going up to 3. The Ravens, they travel to Pittsburgh, they travel to Cleveland, they host the Falcons, they host the Steelers, and of course, the last game they play is in Cincy. And they may need to do a lot of that without one Mr. Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
And that is the big problem.
They don't get to play the Broncos every week, so
no, they don't get.
Well, they don't play the Broncos any week after now. So
I know that's what I'm saying. So is this game?
About a trashy
and it was 10-9 when they played them. So yeah, yeah.
You want to talk about a trashy game? There you go.
Mm-hmm. They decided.
How the hell did that game wind up 10-9?
Because the Broncos suck.
Yeah. Well, Broncos offense sucks, and it's unfortunate that they took a last-minute touchdown drive by Huntley in order for the Broncos to lose that game.
Are the Broncos even averaging double figures in points?
Barely.
No.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they barely are.
It doesn't seem like
this
they
is
are.
like the biggest fall from grace ever, right here.
And then there is who's going to claim the number 7 seed. Right now, that's the Jets. But the Patriots and the Chargers are only one game out. And of course, what looms real dangerous for the Jets.
Wait a minute. Did you
got
say
swept by the Patriots?
Did you say the Chargers are one game?
Yeah, the Chargers are
the number 7.
Chargers are one game out of the 7th slot. Yes, sir.
How in the red hell did that happen? Brandon Staley's their coach.
Brandon Staley.
Okay, I just answered my own question.
I keep telling you all that talent is there. Yes, I know. I am fully aware that the Chargers are full of talent.
But so is Brandon Staley.
But Brandon Staley will mess a team up because he wants to be aggressive and analytical, and that does not always go with great talent. Sometimes you actually have to think for your team and put them in the best position, and he does not do that often.
At all.
Well, it could be worse. He could be Nathaniel Hackett.
Well, he's a step up from him.
He's a step above. Yeah. So
does he have a brain? That's what I want to know. Does Nathaniel Hackett have a brain?
Oh, I don't know. So in the NFC, of course, you got the Eagles, who have the best record in the game.
And the NFC will go through Philadelphia.
And it should go to Philly. I don't see the Eagles having an issue holding on to the number 1 seed.
Nor do I.
I'm sorry, Wise. They traveled to the Meadowlands. Then they're
going to spank us. I don't even think they're going to spank us because we have a really good defense.
I don't think spank, but
our offense is just not up to par with anybody's. Any of the contending teams, our offense just can't compete.
Now, I said this to a fellow Giants fan. I said, in order for the Giants to at least get one of those two against the Eagles, because they do still play them twice,
come and just spank them.
The defense has to step up hard, and the Eagles' defensive.
The thing is, though,
and the Eagles' defensive line has to revert back to how it was when you had teams run for 150, 200 yards on them.
But to our defense, our defense is getting healthy. You seen Ojolari.
That's not my problem with them.
I know. It's just the offense. We just can't put no points up.
Yeah, that's not my problem with them.
We just can't put no points up. I know. Yeah, you ain't got to tell me.
Yeah,
I know. I see it every week.
Defense is fine. Now, the reason why the Cowboys beat you is because the secondary was thin. But besides that,
we can't put no points. We just can't put no points.
That's the thing. If the Giants could put up any type of points.
If we had a passing attack, I think with Daniel Bellinger coming back, it's going to help him a little, but it's not enough. Our receivers are just not. Darius Slayton, I'm sorry, but your hands are just blocks. It's just blocks.
Yeah, hands of stone.
They're just blocks.
And we don't mean Ronnie Garvin either.
Yeah, no.
But the Eagles slate. They go to the Meadowlands and they go to Chicago. It's a 3-game road trip they have actually. Then they go to Jerry World, and then they end the season at home against the Saints and at home
Please,
against the
Eagles,
Giants.
beat the hell out of the Cowboys.
To
Please.
me, the Eagles can win all 5 games. I don't think they will. In fact, I think they'll take an L in Arlington. I'm not rooting for it. I think they will.
They're gonna
But
beat the hell out of the Cowboys.
they
I
should
hope.
beat them. They should beat them.
They
But I
should.
don't. But I
Should.
can see an L being hung on them there. The
Mhm.
Vikings 10-2. I still call them paper champions. They will be the real champions in NFC North if they beat the Lions this Sunday. But that's
Which
in
they
Detroit.
should.
They should. That's games in Detroit. Then they host the
People gonna
Colts.
stop disrespecting the Lions like that, though.
Not disrespect to the Lions. The Vikings should be a better team than the Lions.
They should.
And
They should, but the Lions aren't playing that way.
And they should go on the field and prove it. So this should be a game where that should prove it. I can see an L being hung on them, yes, by the Lions.
I can see the Lions offense coming to play.
And they did when they were in Minneapolis. The problem was the defense faulted on them. But yes, they go to Detroit. Then they
If
host.
this getting healthy,
Mhm.
those Amon Ross playing some great receiver for them. Yes, they traded their tight end, but it seems like they haven't skipped a beat without him. Like that offense is really clicking.
And Hawkinson will return actually to Detroit this weekend. So yes, they go to Detroit, then they host the Colts, then they host the Giants, then they travel to Lambeau Field, and they end in Soldier Field. I actually could see them going 3-2 the rest of the way on that one. I actually see that. I can see 2 L's that the Vikings get hung on. Because I can see them resting week 18.
Yeah.
And not really giving a crap week 18. And you could pick any of the other 4 games where they'll lose the other one. Now, the 49ers, who to me are the hottest team in the game today, they're home against the Buccaneers. They travel to Seattle. Then they host the Commanders. Then they travel to Las Vegas. And then they end their season at home against the Cardinals. All games are winnable. A few of those games are losable. I'm just being objective. And the only reason why I'm being that way.
The next 2 are going to be key for San Francisco. This Sunday against Tampa Bay, and then a quick turnaround going up to the Pacific Northwest. And the reason why that game is huge for Frisco, there's a division title going to hang in the balance.
And plus for the Buccaneers, they need desperately to have a win against a quality opponent, even though they're going on the road. They need to have this game. So I can see them having a playoff intensity about them. But the 49ers, I think they can hold them off. So yeah, that
it's the only, like I said, the only game that worries me is the quick turnaround going to Seattle.
Yeah.
Because of the quick turnaround, and B, so much at stake. So much at stake in that game.
Yeah.
And the reason there's so much at stake, should the 49ers win next Thursday in Seattle, that's the division. Because essentially right now they're holding a 2-game edge. One full in the standings and one in the division. They're up a game on Seattle in the standings, and they
beat them. Yeah.
They're basically up 2.5 at least on everyone in the division, because they're the only undefeated team within that division.
Yeah.
And there was a strong possibility they could run the table in the NFC West. So if they win Thursday, I believe that's the division title.
So the carrot that's being dangled from the 49ers is home field throughout, although that's going to be a tall order.
Oh, that's going to be a hell of an order.
Now,
because you got Philadelphia to face.
Now, not as tall of an order, but it can be one. The number 2 seed to actually have 2 games they can play in Santa Clara. Now that has to be predicated on if the Vikings come back down to them. But to me, I think those are the motivating factors. I don't even think the NFC West Championship is a motivating factor, because I think they feel it's a foregone conclusion. Not from a standpoint of they're cocky, but from the standpoint of they're playing well enough to where it's like, okay, we got this here, but that's not the end game goal for us.
That's not the game. That's not the end goal.
Especially since they went to the NFC Championship game the year before. So the Buccaneers, like I said, they almost have to play every game like it's a playoff, even though, yes, they're the number 4 seed at the moment, and they will not be eclipsed, I don't believe, even though the Falcons, they're acting as though they want to compete, but nah. Then you have the Cowboys, who I think they are the biggest wild card
Can
of
we
them
move
all.
on from them? Can we move on from them, please?
Unfortunately, that is what you have to deal with. Home against the Texans in Jacksonville, then at home against the Eagles, then in Tennessee, and then in Washington to end the season.
They're going to lose 2 of those games.
If the Cowboys actually act as though they know they have a running game, they should run the table here. If they want to act as though McCarthy knows everything, I can see them losing. I can see them losing at least 3 of them. And
yep,
and
and
actually
those are division opponents,
and actually
Philadelphia and Washington,
and actually move down. I can actually see that happening. Now, the race, of course, between you have let's see, the Giants, the Seahawks, the Commanders, 3 teams, 2 slots, and I think that's where it is right now. And I think that's going to be the hottest and heaviest part of the chase coming down. The Giants hold the 6th slot. They host the Eagles, they go to Washington, and then they go to the Twin Cities before they conclude at home against the Colts, and they travel to Philly. The Seahawks, they host the Panthers and the 49ers before they travel to to Kansas City to go to Arrowhead. Then they end against the Jets and the Rams. So they have the most favorable schedule of the 3. The Commanders, they have the Giants, the 49ers, the Browns, the Cowboys, 3 of those 4 games at home, 49ers on the road. This Sunday, they have a bye. So, yeah, that's going to be a really good race right there. The number 6 and 7 seed in the NFC and the number 7 seed in the AFC. I think that is where we're going to have to really focus. Yeah, and, of course, the AFC North and the AFC East. But, yeah, that's the picture. And to talk more about NFL happenings along with other things, we bring on the man who's in charge of the Shady Sports Network, Sam Shady. How are you, sir?
Doing great, fellas. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Now we're going to go off the board here. Sam, how about those XFL uniforms, brother?
So I'm glad you asked. Obviously, I kind of prompted this with the message this morning, but I was thoroughly encouraged. Did you guys catch all of them yesterday?
I sure did. I did.
Man, I wish I did. I'm going to have to look at it then.
I haven't seen them yet.
Okay.
You need to look at them.
So worth looking at. There's one of them that I am not at all happy with. In fact, the St. Louis Battlehawks look exactly like the Indianapolis Colts, and I am not a big fan of the Colts jersey to begin with. I think it's very old looking. It needs to be modernized, and I was very shocked to see that. But then on the flip side, there are some jerseys that are very, very cool. They have like on the San Antonio Brahma jersey, they have some cracked horn texture on the numbers that's really, really cool. The Vegas Vipers have like a snake skin feel to their numbers. Super cool looking. They incorporate a little bit of camo on some of the jerseys. It's very modern feeling. It feels like it fits the XFL. And ultimately, it's just another exciting piece of news that we finally are getting closer to the XFL season.
I should bite my tongue. I'm looking at the jerseys now. Yeah, this is going to be a slight get off my lawn take. This is going to be a slight get off my lawn take. I do not like these modern jerseys where these teams look like they are playing on a high school field. I think if you're going to be a professional athlete, you should dress them professionally. I don't want to see professional athletes look like they're 16 on the field, but that's me.
The Battlehawks one, I agree with Sam, kind of reminds me of the Colts because they took the silver out of it. They took the silver out of the Battlehawks uniforms. What I don't like about these uniforms, in particular the Battlehawks, I don't like the font that they use for the numbers. That seems to be a problem to me.
Each team is different though, but I don't. To me, the defenders look like Ohio State.
Yeah. Orlando, or not Orlando, Seattle looks a lot like Miami.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I mean, I don't mind that they're kind of
And
touching
Houston
on
looks a little bit like Houston.
uniforms.
Thumbs to the
That's
Dan
just me.
for me. Yeah, thumbs to the Dan for me. I'm glad the XFL is back, but not feeling the jerseys at all.
Cole, with that being said, are you a bigger fan of the USFL jerseys?
Slightly, but not all that great. Not all that great of a fan of theirs either.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, slightly, but not much. I mean, because to me, it seems like almost every one of these football teams want to go back and want to actually take it back to high school in terms of layout.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I mean, I like it. You know, in certain ways, I probably like their jerseys more than I do any other professional setting. But I really would like for it to be even older school, in my opinion. But that's me.
Yeah, that's one of these things. I mean, very opinion based on all these jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no fact or reason on which team's going to succeed based on these looks. It's just kind of like I said, one more piece of information. We're that much closer to the XFL season, and I can't wait personally.
Yeah.
Now, given the fact that there's going to be not only an XFL season but also a USFL season, how is that going to work?
Wait, and did they correlate with each other as to how the seasons are going to go? Because I think you said at one time when I interviewed you that the XFL is going to be at one time during the spring, and the USFL is going to be at another time during the spring.
Exactly. So we expect kickoff for the XFL in late February. They should be finishing up probably about May at the latest. So that's going to be like midway through the USFL season at worst. USFL kicked off April 16th last year and ran till I believe it was July 3rd.
Yeah, ran to early July, right.
With that being the case, actually the way it sets up, we might have like 2 weeks where we'll have overlapping XFL and USFL play, but other than that, the two seasons are basically going to be completely separate, and they live in different spaces. And to my point, I think they're almost attracting different talent too, if you really look at the rosters.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that. And that's smart for both.
Are they going to? Is the XFL going to play at home stadiums, or are they going to employ the USFL idea and use a hub?
They are 100% playing in home stadiums.
That's
the one question mark there, as of right now, is still Vegas. We have not gotten an announcement on the Vegas stadium. I hear that it's coming within the next week. Nothing official yet, but every other team has a stadium announced. I've speculated that at this point it would be a safe play for them, if they're not in Vegas, to just play Vegas in the Arlington hub, because everybody will be doing their training camps and their preseason type stuff in Arlington, and then they'll do practices, etc. All of that is in Arlington. Then they fly out for their games, play the games in the home stadiums, and then fly back the next day or whatever.
And they can borrow that hub model that the USFL used. And with the USFL, you broke this at the end of the season last July. Are they going to use 2 hubs this year?
We are actually on pace to see 3 hubs. So it's kind of going to be an interesting setup. They've already announced that they will be in Memphis. Yes, sir. So they've already announced they'll be in Memphis and Birmingham for the Southern teams. Memphis Showboats replaced the Tampa Bay Bandits from season 1. They're going to be playing at home all season long, much like Birmingham did last year. Birmingham and New Orleans will remain in Birmingham. Houston will follow Memphis to Memphis, and that will be their home stadium for this season. And then it is rumored that Detroit will be named as the hub for the 4 northern teams, and all of them will be playing their home games out of Detroit.
So not Canton. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to see Canton.
It's not Canton. It's Detroit now. Why do you think
I guess I'll ask.
Why
this
the
question
change from Canton?
Honestly, I personally think that Detroit makes sense because it's one of the home cities for one of the teams. Michigan showed a lot of support for the Panthers this season, despite the fact that they had a very poor season. And that was one of the big motivating factors behind Detroit, in my opinion. But here's the thing. Detroit hasn't been officially announced yet, so it still is subject to change. There was rumors that they were looking into Franklin Field in Philadelphia. There was rumors they looked into Pittsburgh as well as New Jersey, because all of these teams are obviously trying to play in a home venue. And then you're only relocating 3 teams down the line in season 3.
Okay. So
very interesting. Very
so
interesting.
they're going to the 3 hubs.
Kind of like when the Panthers played at the old Silverdome.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. When they played in the Pioneer Silverdome. Yeah. So okay.
Exactly.
So the northern teams are going to play in Ford Field. All right. Okay.
That appears to be what's the case going to be. But again, like I said, subject to change. That's just the rumor at the moment. Definitely could change at the drop of a hat. I don't think any of us saw Memphis coming. The big reason why they ended up in Memphis, which I was kind of surprised by, is Memphis has guaranteed the USFL free use of a practice facility, a playing facility, and I believe both of them for 3 seasons if the USFL stays there. So if they keep a team in Memphis for the next 3 seasons, they don't pay any cost for any of their playing or practice facilities.
Okay. So it's
motivation.
Motivation, and it's cost effective. Okay.
Absolutely. Wow. And that was exactly how they were trying to get into new cities. They want to keep the league cost effective so they can keep it long term, that long term vision of getting every team in a city, doing it in the cheapest possible manner.
Smart.
Very smart. Very smart.
Now, so comparing the XFL and the USFL, obviously USFL has a year head start, so to speak. Rate the success rate thus far of each league in terms of how effective you think the play with the athletes that they will both have will translate to how we would view the product. Meaning, how well do you think the XFL is going to succeed, and how well do you think the USFL is going to succeed? And do you see like a different level that might exist between, XFL may not be on the level as USFL, and it might be the opposite, or it might be the same.
So I'm glad you asked, because I want to preface this by saying I'm a bigger USFL fan than I am an XFL fan.
Okay, so you're on the same wavelength as I am. Okay, good. Okay.
With that being said, the XFL is going to have better talent. I hate to say it, I really do. But with that being said, there's just a tier structure shaking out is basically what it is. The XFL is getting a lot of guys with former, NFL ties. A lot of these guys have played in the NFL over the past 2 seasons, 3 seasons. They went and picked the cream of the crop from the USFL that got signed to the NFL deals this season. There was a total of, I believe, 31 free agents from the USFL whose contracts were voided due to the fact that they signed with the NFL, but then they didn't make a roster or practice squad. Of those 31, 18 of them were selected by the XFL. So it was a fairly large number of the best players that came out of the USFL for season one. So I think that's basically a big indicator that they're going to have the better level of talent. And then, like I said, with all the guys with the NFL ties, it's bound to happen.
Okay, grade for me how the XFL has set themselves up coming into the 2023 season. As of course we all know, Dwayne Johnson actually is one of the owners of the league.
Marketing.
And it's marketed. So, and along course with his wife, who is a brilliant strategist and brilliant marketer herself. How well do you think they have prepared the XFL to be something that we will actually want to see come post Super Bowl?
So I think they've done a really, really good job. But my rating isn't going to reflect that because I think there's still a lot of room for them to have improved on what they did. I think there was a lot better ways of marketing in local markets and getting that fan base like built up before the season even came. So you build all that fan anticipation in each market before you even put a team there. Now, I would still give them probably a 6 or a 7 out of 10. I think they've really done a great job in terms of overall marketing of the league throughout. They've kind of given us information piece by piece by piece to keep themselves relevant throughout the past basically 6 to 7 months, despite the fact that they have not played a game in over 3 years. So in my mind, their marketing sheet was brilliant. I still think that they left a lot on the table in terms of local marketing. But I think that had a lot to do with the fact that they were still searching for stadiums up until basically now. And with not having those stadiums in place, they weren't necessarily sure if they were married to these cities until those names and logos were announced, only like a month or two ago. That's when they really became married to these local areas. And still to this day, we're not seeing exactly the local marketing I would have expected. It's kind of hit or miss on which teams are really heavy in their local markets and which aren't. I'm hearing Seattle's very, very good about marketing locally. They're bringing in season ticket holders for events already, and we're still 2 months away from the season. Stuff like that. And those are the things that are going to count at the end of the day. Those are the things that are going to get fans in the stadium, watching the game, buying tickets, buying jerseys. And that stuff's important if you want to last as a league. It is. I mean, we saw what happened to the XFL in 2020, and they had strong attendance. So, in order to set themselves up for success, me personally, I would have tried to have these players out there, marketing to the fans themselves. Get to know your quarterback for this season. Get to know your running back, your offensive line, your coaches, all that. But it really hasn't been as widespread as I had hoped.
Draw a personal connection. That's a wonderful point.
I've worked with some leagues that have done that. Get to know, and it's mostly basketball. Get to know your point guard, your shooting guard. I've worked with a couple of leagues that have done that. So that is a great point, Sam. Let the fans get to know the players, so that way when the season starts, not only are they familiar with them, and not only do they know who they're cheering on, they have that personal connection with them, and they want to see more of them,
and they can start to emotionally invest in them. Yeah,
exactly.
Correct.
And the thing is, despite the fact that a lot of these guys have NFL ties, they're very down to earth. They're regular people. These aren't guys that have made millions in their careers, outside of maybe AJ McCarron, but a lot of these guys are practice squad guys. They're guys who have bounced around in the NFL. They're not household names. So when they get to meet the fans, they're very, very cordial. They're very excited to get that interaction with the fans because they haven't gotten that up to this point in their careers. They've been a bottom of a roster guy, a guy nobody knew. So they get to come to this league and be a star, and they get to be showcased in front of all these fans. Like Kyle Sloter, perfect example. He became a household name in the USFL. He's going to be a household name in the XFL now. And, you put that guy in Arlington, and you have him doing jersey signings, out there, whatever you can possibly think of, commercials and locally, all that stuff. Because that's going to be your quarterback. That's the guy who's leading your team. That's the face of your franchise. And nobody in Texas really has any reason to know who he is. He's never played for a Texas team. He played for New Orleans in the USFL. So, there's no connection there yet.
Yeah. And I think that, okay, I'll ask this question. Do you think part of the marketing that XFL has done is because they felt so strongly about the half of year they played before the pandemic wiped them out?
I'll answer that. Yes.
Yes. Actually, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. But yes, I strongly believe that they think that they came into this season the top dog over the USFL without having to do really anything. And whether that was true or not, I don't really know. But I know that they have the perception of the players that they're positioning themselves to be better. And if you want the best talent, it's all about what the players perceive. It doesn't matter what the fans think. The fans will fall in line with where the better gameplay is.
Of course.
Well, we're going to see how all this goes. Sam Shady, Sam the man, talking XFL and USFL, from the uniforms to the marketing and all the breakdowns within. And we're going to follow both leagues with Sam's help. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate the time, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you guys, as always, for having me on. I appreciate everybody in the chat, and I'll catch you guys next week.
Good stuff as always. Thank you, man.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
An intro for Sam. Shame on you.
I haven't gotten around to it yet. Yeah, I haven't gotten around to
Understood.
it. But speaking of intros, hour number 2 begins now. On your mark.
Right now.
Get set. Let's go.
Cause we take this job so serious.
All of it, between 2 people and 4 nostrils, all of it was gone.
LeBron James is pure, unadulterated trash as a basketball player and has been for 20 years. We don't want to see that. Wait a minute. We don't want to see
Number 420. Why is El Jefe? Number 420.
I had to do it. Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Hour 2 thereof. And before we go any further, I got
we
this little
take
gem.
this job so serious.
To all the hooker whores.
I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not cuss.
Gotta go, gotta ho.
Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Hour 2 thereof of Snowman in the Morning with Paul. Listen, I came up with that one on the fly. On the fly. Okay.
To all you hooker whores. Oh Lord.
What the hell I was thinking when I put that together? I don't know. I figured I'll try it. The other one with the stop the lies, stop the cap, and you really fell out of your chair
because it was just how Wise did it was just so smooth, and like I said, I heard. Yeah, it's like I knew Bass was saying nope, and you was like, wait a minute. I heard that, but it was just Wise going, stop the lies, stop the cap, bro, stop the cap. Just how he said it was hilarious.
We continue hour 2. Ben Sutterth now joins us, the man in charge of the BS3 network, where this show is housed and aired every Monday through Friday morning. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning. Good morning. How you guys doing?
I'm doing fine. Okay. All right. I'm going to do it right now. Get your mans. Get your mans. What is up with Michael Irvin?
I wish I could tell you. Man. This, the fact that you're about to cry about a football team that you don't play for anymore, that you don't get paid by anymore, that's an emotional. He had an emotional breakdown almost. Like let's
What
stop.
the hell did okay, what the hell did I miss?
This fool, after the 54-19 butt whooping at home they gave the Colts, got up on ESPN's First Take, and of course he joins them every Monday morning. And so of course they now have gotten to the point where when the Cowboys win, they have Michael Irvin basically do a cold intro to the show. This fool actually had the nerve to opine, quote, "The Cowboys are now the best team in the NFL." Close quote. That's why I said to Ben, get your mans.
Yeah, he is so. I don't know, man. I can't explain it anymore. He's just off. Okay, he's off.
I'm like, Lord have mercy. I'm like, and
he said what?
Quote: "The Dallas Cowboys are right now the best team in the NFL." Close quote. So we're going to
That's
bypass
some great
the Eagles.
homogenized whole team bull crap right there.
So we're going to bypass the Eagles, who already beat them. Now, credit
they
did
at 11-1.
Right now, credit they did dog walk the Vikings when they played them, but we're just going to bypass that, and we're going to bypass the fact that the Cowboys have hiccups every now and then. Just look at the game they played in Lambeau. But you're going to say that this team is the best in NFL, and he went so ham on them and saying it was such a beautiful thing. They scored 33 points in a quarter and denied the team scoring. You don't see that in the championship team. Get out of here. Really?
You have got to be shaving me. Wait a minute. I don't have
I wish it was. I wish it was.
I don't have my soundboard up. Let me get my soundboard up right now.
He's basing this off of one quarter in a team that's what 4-8-1 now, 4-9-1, some ridiculous record.
He's basing this off of 12 minutes.
Yeah, against a horrible team at home. Now,
we're supposed to blow them out.
Thank you.
I will play the original.
Yeah.
You have got to be shaving me.
Thank you, Ben. That's exactly
Ben. Say that again, please.
You were supposed to blow them out. It was not supposed to be that close.
It wasn't supposed to be 21-19 going into the fourth quarter, which
it shouldn't have been 21-19. It should have been 21-19. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yes, that's
grief.
That's why I had to say get your mans.
I feel like Charlie Brown. I feel like Charlie Brown every holiday special. Good grief.
Okay, so with that being said, your Cowboys are 9-3. They unfortunately are still only 2 games off, with an L to boot to the Eagles. Should the Cowboys only concern themselves with the number 5 seed?
Should they only concern themselves? No, I mean they need to win the rest of these games. I mean, whoever's on the table need to get the highest seed possible. My thinking is hopefully the Eagles can lose a couple of games and we can be right at about even, kind of going into that game that we play each other. That's my thinking. So then it could make it a little bit more competitive, and then we could possibly, sneak into that number 1 spot in the division.
Okay, so note to self: Ben wants the Eagles to tank and the Cowboys to still stay where they are for a early Christmas present. Okay, got it. Okay, all right.
Yep.
Because if I'm not mistaken, they play Christmas Eve, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
Is that is that in Dallas or is that
it's in Dallas?
That's in Dallas.
It's in Arlington. Yes.
But they
Okay.
went to Philly. Yeah,
The
lost.
Arlington football team is going to get dog walked.
But he's saying this with the Eagles having to play at the Meadowlands and at Chicago before they do meet Christmas Eve. So if the Eagles are 0-2, that must mean half of the Eagles have been injured.
The lose against the Bears, yeah, it's gonna have to be an act of God.
I mean, because yes, the slate for the Cowboys is easier. Obviously, they host the Texans and they go to Jacksonville. Although that's not a straight up gimme. It should be a gimme as talented as the Cowboys are.
Yeah, should be. Okay, well, I said it earlier about not putting respect on Detroit's name, and until I see otherwise, I won't. I'm sorry. I know what I've seen this season from the Philadelphia Eagles. I know what I've seen this season from that Arlington football team.
Thank you, Cole.
Thank you, Cole McCain, for that. Indeed. Look, Christmas Eve, while that game is playing, wife, daughter, and I are going to be making sweet treats all over the house. And by the time we're done, I expect to see a blowout. Now, I know that's going to make Ben angry, but okay.
The circumstances are different this time around. Before we had the great Cooper Rush that everybody was on that bandwagon.
I love how you said
and that bandwagon got dumped. It dumped everybody off on that stop.
Like a dump truck.
In South Philly, everybody jumped off that bandwagon.
Yeah.
They got dump trucked in Philadelphia. That bandwagon got dump trucked in South Philly.
Oh my gosh!
Great Cooper Rush.
You are awesome, Ben.
I will give Cooper Rush this piece of. He did keep them afloat amidst Dak Prescott.
He kept
them afloat.
He kept them afloat, and I think he hopefully he has reminded the coaching staff, oh, we actually have a style running game, and it actually works when we don't give the quarterback so much of the offensive responsibility.
Which prompts a very important question to both you and to Ben.
Ben first.
Who's the coach of the Cowboys?
The one and only Mike Teddy Bear McCarthy.
And to Cole Johnson, same question. Who's the coach of the Cowboys?
The one where his ego will mess the team up. And I will say this to time and immemorial. I love you, Ben,
and in 4 words,
and I respect the Cowboys, but McCarthy is going to ruin that team before they even try to sniff the NFC Championship.
Just ask Aaron Rodgers. And I hate bringing Aaron Rodgers into the conversation, but we're seeing this for what it is.
Yeah,
we're seeing this for what it is. Then you still.
I hate to say it, but it's going to come down to a play. It's going to come down to a timeout. It's going to come down to going forward on 4th down, and I don't have trust in him that he'll make the right decision.
And see,
nor do I.
That's why I really have a lot of respect for you, man. You are a Cowboys fan that I can totally respect. That is my number one issue with the team. McCarthy puts your team in position, and they are loaded with talent. But he puts you in position to where you scratch your head and you say, "Why were you thinking this?"
Yeah.
And you ask this question about 2 seconds after the final gun is sounded and the Cowboys are walking off the field, eliminated from the playoffs. And you're left wondering this question, and they have all this talent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been the $1 million question.
We
Or
talked
$40 million question.
after we talked after the wild card game, gentlemen. And well, we talked before, during, and after the wild card game. And the one thing that I said consistently that the Cowboys could not defend is a stout running game.
And
even Michael Irvin himself said
the 49ers was the worst draw for them.
The worst draw they can get in the playoffs.
And I will contend, and I'll make your 49er, I'll make your Scarlet and Gold heart happy when I say this, Brian. I still think the worst matchup for the Cowboys is the 49ers. I still think that. Why do I say that? The Packers, when they actually decided to run the ball, proved that you can run on the Cowboys, and if you can, that gives them problems. And if for some odd reason it makes McCarthy's brain malfunction, and it's like, Dak, win it for us, and he throws 45 times in a game.
Yeah, which is a losing mentality.
How many times did he throw it in that wild card game? I think he threw it 44 times. I think
too many.
Thank you, Ben. It was too many.
Ben had the perfect word. Too many. All right, we got to go to a break, and then we got to do some picks. But Ben Sutterth, the master manipulator of the BS3 network, where this show is housed, where Cole Sports is housed, and many, many other great shows. If you haven't done so already, check out the BS3. Check out the BS3 network and BS3 Sports. And I have a present. I have a present for BS3 Sports tonight. And it'll come from the East Central Civic Center. I'll give you more details on that when we get back from a break. Ben, love you, brother. Thank you, and thank you so much.
Thank you for everything, man.
No problem. We got Revelations coming up at 2. We're gonna do a replay of last week, and then we got Wise and Poppy J. And good to see Wise on today. I know he was battling COVID, But you guys definitely have a good Friday.
You too, brother.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Let's take a break. When we come back, I have something to show you that my beloved wife gave me. I showed people in private, but now I'm going to show everybody. And then we got some picks to do. And then you know who. Back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Have you had a chance to visit the brand new Snowman in the Morning shop yet? You haven't? Then what are you waiting for? Go to our new web address, snowmaninthemorning.com/shop. That's snowmaninthemorning.com/shop, where you can shop for all kinds of items like a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a book bag, and everything else that you need to have the same outfits and the same gear that the crew has. And with each purchase, you will be helping the Snow Strong initiative. We got a lot to do in a short time to get there. Go to snowmaninthemorning.com/shop and get the same stuff that the crew has. And when you do that, tell them Snowman sent you. Thanks. This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
from a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
Course, Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez.
And it's caught. Debo Samuel with the catch. Michael Jordan can sense it.
The throw just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
So I realized that I think even though it's not advertised,
Right.
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there I am. Official SIT Morning is the ID that you need. And before we go any further, my wife absolutely loves and adores me because I made it known to her that I only had one piece of 49er memorabilia in my life, and it had the late great Ferdy Solomon on it. And my parents got me that.
Jersey?
So we were talking. Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
So we were talking, and she says, when we get our property, there's one rule on Sundays. I said, all right, lay it on me. She says, you have to make sure that the grass is taken care of and properly mowed before we watch football. I said, I can live with that. As long as I get my sunglasses and my dad hat, I'm cool. Well, here are the sunglasses. And here's the dad hat that my wife got me.
Yeah, you look like all those coaches.
She got me this.
You like all those coaches in the 90s and early 2000s when they would play in the when they would be coaching the Pro Bowl. That's sweet. I like that. Yeah, wifey did good, man. Wifey did good. All right. Well, as my partner loads back up, hopefully he will rejoin us in a sec. Here we go.
I swear I'm going to find me 100-foot cord. I'm going to find me 100-foot internet cord. I swear to God, I'm going to. All right. Well, we got a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Victor. Yeah, wifey got that. And I showed you the shirt that she got me.
Yeah, it is nice.
She went over, and she told me, she says, do you know how hard it was for me to find a shirt with the old school 49ers logo? I cried.
Nice.
That's just how much my wife knows me. In fact, she paid me a hell of a compliment. Of course, when people see me do my my live reactions, of course, I utter the phrase of one Greg Papa when I say touchdown San Francisco. She looked me in the eye and she said, I heard that from you first. I went, what? I said, baby, that's Greg Papa's phrase.
I could
This is
understand
what
that.
She says, well, according, and she says, well, in this house, you said it first before I heard it from him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before I get too sentimental and I start crying again, let's do some picks.
All right.
Are we?
Yes.
Because we coming.
Yes.
At the bottom of the hour.
Let's do that.
Let's do some picks. We're going to start in Buffalo at Rich Stadium. Jets and Bills. Bills are favored by 10. All of our spreads come from Caesar Sportsbook. Working on a pending partnership with them. Bills getting Bills are at home. I don't wanna because Von Miller is out for the rest of the year. I'm gonna take the Bills, but I'm going to take the points for some stupid reason. Stupid university, I know. I'm gonna hear that soon. For some stupid reason, the Jets are gonna give him a game.
Yeah, I don't see the Jets pulling this out, and no, this isn't well, since Ryan's team is there. No, it's not about that. I really believe the Bills, they have something to play for. Number 1 seed. Oh, by the way, they did lose to this team in the Meadowlands, so they want to earn the split. So they got motivation to beat the Jets.
All right. Vikings and Lions, and I'm going to let Cole give his pick first because I got to plug something back in. Vikings and Lions, Detroit favored by 2 at home. Matter of fact, I'll give my pick first, then I'm going to step out for a couple of minutes. I'm calling for the upset.
Okay. I look at it this way. The line is -2 for Detroit. That basically means that they really believe that the Vikings are they are a favorite, really, but they don't think they are the true favorite. Otherwise, they would have them be favored. The Lions played them very well for 3.5 quarters when they played the last time. I actually think the Lions will finish the deal this time. They're better now. The Vikings are riding high, but they've been riding high off of luck. So I say the Lions in this game.
Yeah. I'm calling for the upset. That 49ers hat would use as an oil pan. You just wish you had a hat like that. So man, Jaguars and Titans.
Focus.
Tennessee favored by 3.5 at home. I'm taking the points. Taking the Titans, but taking the points. There's something goofy that's going to happen in that game.
There's something that always goofy that happens with these two teams play, especially in Nashville. And normally would center around Derrick Henry, like he normally has these big time runs against him. So it's expect a run 70 yards or more to happen against them. Titans will win. It's going to be an ugly game, but the Titans will be 8-5 after this one.
Eagles and Giants from the Meadowlands. Eagles favored by a full touchdown. You may as well double it. Give me the Eagles, and I'm laying the points.
Sorry, Wise. The Eagles just have too much for the Giants. And I said this to a Giants friend of mine. I said, you can't really do anything in terms of daring Hurts to beat you because he can. But the Eagles can say we dare Daniel Jones to beat you, and they can execute that game plan. That's the game plan. Unfortunately, Daniel Jones in the air will equal another L for the Giants.
All right, one more 1 o'clock game. Pittsburgh favored by 2. Baltimore Ravens. No Lamar Jackson, no dub. I'm going with the upset, and I'm going with the Steelers. Don't ask me why. I'm just feeling this. I'm doing this purely off of a feeling today.
The Steelers always play the Ravens tough. Of course, the opposite is true too. And I agree with you. No Lamar Jackson. And I know I have a lot of respect for Tyrone Huntley. The Steelers, I think they want to prove that they are better than what their record says, which right now is 5-7. They'll come away with the dub.
Stand by, folks.
And Victor actually says the same. He says still curtain rights. Yeah, and tell us your picks too with the chat and play along with us. The Jags Titans game. He says Titans. McCarthy says Bills win, but the Jets cover. I think that's what's going to happen there too, man. I think that's how it's going to be. I think the Bills will win it, but it's not going to be by 10. I think it's going to be by probably like between 4 to 6. I can see that. All right, let's continue onward, shall we? I'll just rush through the other 1 o'clock games. All right, so you got the let me see. You got the Bengals and the Browns. They hosted the Browns. Bengals are 5.5-point favorites. Browns have nothing for them. I picked Bengals there. Cowboys, they're 17-point favorites at home against the Texans. It might as well be 34 because the Texans have nothing for the Cowboys. And that concludes the 1 o'clock slates. The 4 p.m. slates. Let's start with the Chiefs hosting the Broncos. This was the Sunday night game, but it correctly got flexed. So the Broncos are 9-point underdogs, and they're going to be even more of a loser because I don't see them losing by 9. I have the Chiefs, and they're going to run roughshod over the Broncos. Wise?
Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't see what the Broncos have for them, and they play again later. Panthers, Seahawks. Seahawks have this at home. They are amazingly a 4.5-point favorite. I am surprised that is so low for them. Panthers really have nothing for the Seahawks, and the Seahawks have something to play for, so it's Seahawks for me easily there.
Seahawks.
All right, I will leave another 4 o'clock game for later, hopefully. The Sunday night game, the one that got flexed into this spot, Dolphins traveling to SoFi to play the Chargers. The Dolphins are a field goal favorite. I shall go with the Chargers on this one. I would love to say
you going with Brandon Staley?
Yeah, and here's why. It seems to me, and I saw this last week, it's like the Dolphins forget they have a running game. And it's great that they got Jayden Waddle. It's great they got Tyreek Hill, and it's great that Tua Tagovailoa has his confidence. That's great, but you got to balance it out. And if you don't give the Chargers the Chargers defense balance, the chances are better and greater for the Chargers to win. And I could see them pulling out a W there.
Okay. I agree. I tend to agree with you. I think the Chargers are gonna actually pull this one out. So Chargers.
Okay. I'll make this one easy. 2-point favorites. The Patriots on the road against the Cardinals. It's the Patriots for me. It's not even a debate. It's not even a discussion.
Patriots.
Yeah. And of course, the other game that we forgot that we took for last. 49ers hosting the Buccaneers at home. They are 3.5-point favorites. I think they will pull it out, and it's going to be an ugly game, but I think they'll pull it out.
Oh man.
And I say that because the Bucs need to have a playoff intensity about them, but I think the 49ers have a little too much for them everywhere else except for quarterback, which is funny to say.
Yeah, let's go 49ers.
Yeah. All right. That concludes all the picks, and it is now time for me to push that button.
Don't soil this program by putting crap on it. Joe Buck, I cannot take him. I just no dice.
Push the button.
I'm glad Carlos Boozer finally took the kiwi off his face. It should be on your shoes, not your face. It's kiwi shoe polish, for God's sake. LeBron should come clean about his age. I wish baby Jesus that I had alcohol in this container because I need some after watching Screaming A. Smith.
Baby Jesus? Really?
6 pounds, 7 ounces. Go tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
The man in charge of Chris Bass interviews and Baseline. He joins us as he does every Friday at 9:35 Eastern, 8:35 Central. Chris Bass, how you doing, my man?
And I am feeling great. And good morning, boom, shakalaka to all of you out there. Of course, to Rain Man, the mad scientist, and to Wise. Wise, how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, brother. I'm feeling much better, man. Better
good.
than I did earlier in the week.
It's good that he's back.
Yeah, glad to hear it. Always great news. Thank you for being back, brother. And I completely understand. I was fighting a cold. I didn't have COVID, but I was fighting a cold myself. I thought I had COVID, and I called my general practitioner and I talked to her about it. She's like, "No, Mr. Bass, you have a cold and just do your best to get fluids and stuff like that." But man, anything like a virus, as we all experience, it knocks you out.
Yeah.
And so it's not a good feeling. But thank you for being here as always, because we're part of a team and we miss you and everything else.
Definitely.
So that's how it is. So thank you so much, brother, for what you do.
Believe me, I feel much better. Like I made sure I took the days off that I needed to rest. Just rest, drank plenty of fluids, had nothing but soup, and just relaxed. I didn't really overexert myself. Just the best thing for me was just to get rest.
Good. Well, I'm glad you did, my man. Tampa Supreme, glad you joined us again, brother. He says his Bucks are trash this year. I won't say trash, but I think they are worse than what we all thought.
They are the cream of their division.
They're the cream of their division. Yeah. You're talking about Kyler. Yeah, he refuses to study playbook because he's a gamer. Yeah, strange but crazy. But Vic wants to ask Mr. Bass, how are you doing this morning?
What's up, Vic? Much better than I was before. I want to first of all thank everybody on a serious note that reached out to me, and I stopped my shows because I wasn't feeling well. And it's nice to know what you do is appreciative, because like anything else, what we do, we put it out there and for the masses to see and hear, and will they respond or not? And we would not be where we are now had not been for people out there who respond to what we do. So when that happens, I never take it for granted. But it was nice to know that when I was, kind of down and out, I had to recalibrate my life and recalibrate my shows to a degree. And that's just taking a step back to realize that, what, maybe some changes need to happen here and there. And I don't think I take it very seriously. So again, thank you to all who reached out to me. They know who they are. Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate it.
And you get a hearty boom shakalaka from Mr. Ryan McCarthy. Yeah, we do. We do appreciate you.
Definitely.
We appreciate your Bass.
So as we step into the mind of one Chris Bass, what are we seeing now?
Okay, it's going to be rough.
But
why
you ask that question?
Well, it's a fair question to ask, especially for the newcomers who don't know what's inside my mind. I feel sorry for them, and so here we go. Well, it's the Deion Sanders situation on my mind since it happened. Him moving to Colorado. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing. So people understand something. When a person shows you who they are, it shouldn't be a surprise. Deion Sanders is a wonderful human being. He changed the game literally by playing the two sports, football and baseball like Bo Jackson did, and things of that nature. So nothing wrong with that. Right. The man showed you from day one that it's about money. I don't begrudge him that.
Must be the money.
I don't remember the old ad for Pizza Hut that he did with Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones was like, "How much, Deion? 15 million, 20 million?" He said, "Both." Both. Now it was a cute ad. It was a cute commercial, but that's how much he got. He got $30 million. So or 35, whatever it was. So my point is, when someone is of a certain acumen, he or she, and that's how they operate. And when it comes to HBCUs have a lot of work to do, but they're getting better exposure than they ever had before. Byron Allen, who's a fantastic businessman in broadcasting, created his own broadcasting group, is going to give HBCUs a lot of exposure through his company, via also in partnership with CBS Sports. So that's going to be great for all HBCUs. So some people I saw online, well, he said that he was going to be here for a while. I don't recall him saying that. But again, people I think get caught up. Once again, say that again.
He said, "Neither do I."
No, do I.
That's my point. So it's the emotional content. I get all that. He brought a lot of excitement. He brought a championship. So look, the dude did his job. And if someone else comes along, someone else comes along and wants to recruit him, it's fine. It's done every day. And especially now with the transfer portal. Come on, man, it's a whole different ball game. Literally,
but now it's us who are attacking him. It's black people who are upset that he's leaving
because we ain't right.
Well, you know why? It's because it's an
crabs in a barrel.
It is an indictment against the black culture. If we were to hang with other black people 1 minute and decide to better our own situation somewhere else. And it's shame on that black man for turning his back on the black community. No.
He bought new facilities to Jackson State.
No. And yeah,
his own money.
This is the thing that seems to be glossed over. With his own money, he improved this facility. He paid for the food that the athletes could eat. He paid money for the improvement of their jerseys and their equipment. I mean, he gave a profile to the HBCU athlete that I don't think I have seen ever.
Same here.
And you're going to poo-poo this guy because he did more than he was supposed to, and forget the fact he donated half of the salary he was given, plus paid from his own money that was not his salary to improve the conditions where he was.
Right.
And have his cars being broken into, and have to deal with Mississippi being crooked with the public works. Dealing with all that, and he still rose above all that. So you expect him to basically still be this pillar of, well, I'm going to be an Eddie Robinson of this generation? No. There was another opportunity that was exponentially going to be better for him and was probably going to present a bigger challenge to him. He'd be stupid to not take it.
Right.
Let me borrow words that Cole uses a lot. And it's so true. University of Colorado backed up 2 Brinks trucks to him and said, look, we give you a challenge. Take it.
Yeah.
He took it and he's running with it.
Because
good for him.
Yeah. And Colorado was like, we ain't been nothing for the last 30 years.
Since Cordell Stewart.
Yeah, we ain't been nothing for the last 30. Yeah. Cordell Stewart, we're talking 94, 95. We hit 94. We haven't been
not since Gary Barnett.
Yeah.
Not since Gary Barnett won the North Division in the Big 12 in 2005.
Right. And even then, the hype wasn't that great for Colorado. I mean, they haven't been a national championship contender and they haven't been thought of in that vein
since 1991
in 30 plus years. So you mean to tell me Deion wouldn't see it as a challenge? And oh, by the way, he wanted love from not necessarily alma mater because he didn't graduate from Florida State, but he didn't get love from the team that he played on in college. You mean to tell me that he wouldn't get a big thrill out of the fact that he can look at Florida State and say, look, I'm running a Power 5 school and you didn't have the balls to sign me.
And that frightens a lot of people because Florida State, where he made himself famous, didn't take a chance on him. They took a chance on Willie Taggart so they could fulfill their puppet role, but they didn't take a chance on a fellow who knows the culture and studied under the late, great Bobby Bowden.
Meanwhile, we have already put a foot in Willie Taggart, and they did two GoFundMes to get rid of him before they did.
Yes.
And yeah, ridiculous.
And they didn't want to take a chance on one of their own.
Right.
In Deion Sanders.
Sad.
What's wrong with this picture?
But yeah, good analysis there, Chris. I totally agree with you, man.
Yes, and I mean it sincerely when it comes to black folk. We hate each other. It's just as simple as that.
Yep.
It's just as simple as that. I have been doing this type of radio going on, 30 years, and the analysis for me is very simple. If you look in the mirror every day and you hate what you see, you'll take that same hate and put it out to the public. Simple. Because you have to love yourself before you love others. You have to embrace yourself before you embrace others. So the fact that you're hating on Dion or you or me or anybody else, you hate yourself first. And that's where it comes from.
Can you preach that again, please? Can you preach that again, please? Because
when it comes to black folk, not all,
no,
but when it comes to black folk and people of color, we hate each other first, and then we hate ourselves once we leave our homes. It is an incredible disease
100%.
that we have.
Yes.
And it's not going to go anywhere.
That's
we
the
can
sad
fix it
part
individually.
right
Huh?
there. That's the sad part right there. It's not going to go anywhere. That's the sad part.
No, of course not.
It's going to get worse.
It is worse. It's worse now.
Thank you. You changed my sentence for me. It's gotten worse. It's
gotten worse. It's gotten worse. And it's about to get even worse.
Absolutely.
There are 4 fellows on your screen and in your ears involved in media speaking the way that we speak, which is correctly. Thank you, George Carlin, for that.
Yes.
And yet, the hatred has been phenomenal. The hatred has been phenomenal. Of course, we get the occasional. Well, of course, you get the occasional button from Wise, but you get the idea of where
That's the New Yorker in me.
Yeah, but that's geographical and colloquial.
But you get the you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
of course.
Okay? But it is. I'm hearkening to a wonderful philosophical statement that Terrell Owens made one time after a touchdown, where he said, and this typifies black people all day. Quote, "They hate me because they ain't me." Close quote.
Words I have lived by for 27 years.
And that is black. That is black people ever since
all day long. And 4 words I spoke earlier today: crabs in a barrel.
100.
It's crabs in a barrel when it comes to Deion Sanders, because it's like Bass said, and we have echoed. I didn't hear Deion said, "I'm staying for the long term." Deion did what he was supposed to do. He improved his facilities. He made them champions. Now it's on to the bigger and better challenge. Period.
Victor, and you're right along with us, brother. He's like, why y'all be talking white, son?
No, that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it, man. Why y'all be talking white, son?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Why y'all be talking white, son?
Yeah.
Act like you're black, y'all.
Boy, we've been told that for many, many moons.
Do these sound familiar? I know it sounds familiar to you too, Victor. Yes, it definitely does.
Oh, someone said it to Victor while Victor and I were on assignment at DePaul. All right, we were covering a girls city tournament, and Victor, I know you remember this. We were covering a girls city tournament at DePaul. And someone walked by and heard Victor and I analyzing the first half of the game, and they looked Victor in the eye and said, "Act like you black." Some bitch never.
What is acting like you black? What is that exactly?
Yeah.
What is it?
It gets better.
How does one act black? Yeah,
it gets better. It gets better.
Oh, good Lord!
Some bitch never had the nerve to say it to me, because I stood up and I looked him in the eye and I said, "Look, you say that to my partner again, I will act like I'm black and tear your throat out."
Well, all 6'5" of you, how could he miss?
Well, he never bugged me. He never bugged us again, and we did the entire weekend tournament with no problem. In fact,
too many times it's been familiar with him, and he says yes, he remembers.
In fact, there was another occasion where I had to go out of town, and I asked Victor to cover me when we had a girls' championship to do at DePaul, and I couldn't make it. And I gave Victor this order: you only call me when necessary. When he called me, it was necessary.
Yeah. Playmaker 100, brother. Acted black to them equals loud, uneducated, and violent.
Sorry.
Extremely stereotypical and stupid. That's exactly the frame. That's exactly the mind frame, brother.
Very stupid.
On point playmaker. On point.
I was just checking my phone on a side note because I put up my show promo that I have on Baseline today on Facebook, as I always do.
Right.
Yes.
And you can't tell me there's no God, because he who should not be named has not said anything about my notification. So it's a good day already. It's a good day already. And going back to the whole thing about being black, it's coming up. It segues into he who should not be named.
Oh, no.
Because
no.
I realized one of my roles in life, and the more I'm on this program, that I sire myself to take people and put them back into hell. And I take that mantle very strongly, and it is more than my honor to take these people and put them back home. And back home is hell.
I knew you was going to say that.
Yes, absolutely.
Lord have mercy.
Absolutely. So he should not be named is one of them.
And we have a version of that here.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it up there. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You saw it. It doesn't need to be posted. We got
it's not going. It's not going to be shown, but you're still going to receive this though.
I don't remember asking you a thing.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something is wrong with these people, and I realize it's not just mental; it's also non-spiritual, because the non-spiritual part of you makes you so damn stupid.
I wish I could laugh. But the base is 100% correct.
You have to go back home.
Base is 100% correct. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is funny right here.
Chris Base, Bronze God, reformer of hoes, transporter to Hades.
Thank you, Ryan. That's right. That's right, Ryan. That's right.
Can we get a mic drop on that?
Wait, let me do this right. Chris Base, Bronze God, reformer of hoes, transporter to Hades.
Damn right. Exactly. Thank you for that,
Ryan.
I already see the clip coming. I see the clip coming already.
Ryan, thank you.
There's a commercial.
I already see it coming.
Ryan, thank you for another gem, sir.
It's working. You can see his
gem.
mind working already. You
the
can
mad
see it
scientist
working.
strikes again.
You can just see it working.
Turning at 200 miles an hour, and he's taking notes.
For another gem.
Y'all see this,
miles
right?
An hour, so everybody sees you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it is.
And playmaker. Here you go, right here, right there.
It is the damnedest of shame. It really is, because going back to what I said about he who should not be named.
Mm-hmm.
When you say stupid stuff like it's too early for Facebook notifications, then the next question that your dumb Yaz will ask me is, why are you black?
I actually had that posed to me in college. I'm not making this up. I actually had that question posed to me in college.
Because God bless me being black. To be quiet. Get out of my face.
I looked at him and I said,
God made me funky. Funke.
Well, in the latest
hit him with that Kumo D.
On the latest episode of Poppy J and Wise, Poppy refuses. He says, "I am no longer black. I am."
You gotta know Jay. That dude is hilarious.
Says, I am no longer black.
He is 1,000% hilarious. Gotta love it.
He goes. In China, they're all Chinese. In Japan, they're all Japanese. He says, we're the only country where we got black Americans, white Americans. He says, I'm an American. I'm no longer black. Anyone who calls me a black American, I'm punching them in the face.
That sounds like Jay too.
If that don't fit Jay to a T.
Oh my God.
Right there.
Oh,
and thank you, Victor. I had that posed to me because when What did he say? Because I dared to bump Metallica in high school. For me, it was Metallica. It was AC/DC. It was Def Leppard. All of that.
Dude,
I
man,
bumped it all.
man. It look 16 in the car with a guy. He turned me on to Metallica. I turned on to Public Enemy, and ever since then, I've been rocking Metallica. And I did not give two craps about what person was going to say to me, "You listen to that white music." No, I'm listening to music, and it happens to be good. And if you want to listen to it, cool. If not, that's on you.
That's on you.
Never let anybody put you in a box. I've always been like that since I was born. You like what you like, and I told the story before. So back then, they could get those big ass boom boxes.
Yes,
I had a big ass boom box with like 20 D batteries. I'm sitting on the porch. I'm listening to some music, and one of my so-called friends from the neighborhood was saying,
"Not so-called."
Yeah, so-called, because he split the difference asking this dumb ass question he's about to ask me.
Oh
Not
no!
Split the difference. Oh no!
Why
I'm afraid
are
of
you
it.
listening to that white music? And I said, well, to me, like you just said before, in acknowledgement of Public Enemy and Metallica, it's music. I don't classify it. The person happens to be of a different race, whatever. And then he says to me, well, look, man, you listen to something black like Benny and the Jets. Excuse me, I don't know if you know this, but Elton John not only is white, but he's British.
Yes.
He's British.
Wait,
he's white.
He said what?
Because for the record, Benny and the Jets was played on a lot of black radio stations during this time.
Of course, it was. Of course.
Yes.
So, but a lot of people thought that he was, black. Some people did, like this bonehead did.
Speaking of Metallica,
that's hilarious.
Right.
Speaking of Metallica, in homage to number 42, Mariano Rivera. Did you pump us, Victor and Cole and everyone else? Did y'all ever pump a song like this a few times? I know I sure did.
I pumped that song a few times. Yeah. And that's not my favorite song from them.
Yeah, Enter Sandman.
Yeah. That's their most popular song, but
Absolutely.
but that's not my favorite song from them. Oh yeah, definitely. Man, okay, so at work, there's a time that is a slot that's allotted to me to actually one day a week for like maybe 10 minutes or so, like bump up morale and actually sing songs to them because I got a voice, I might as well use it. So I've done this 2 years. Early on, like about month number 3, I cranked out Metallica on them, and they look at me, this black face, and they hear me actually sing, Metallica, from the bell tolls, and they're looking at me like, what? You know this? You know these songs? Yeah, and love them. And I got so many rave reviews from them. It's like, you're all things musical, man. Whatever you want to do, doesn't matter what genre, doesn't matter what era, do it, because we know you're gonna rock it good. I'm like, perfect, because that's what it's about. And I did that on purpose to them, and I mean, I saw so many jaws drop, and it made me so happy.
This song describes us. What I'm about to play right here, because we stand alone.
Wait a minute.
I thought you'd like this. A little Godsmack to close out the Friday morning, because we do stand alone. Us four, we stand alone in our beliefs, in what we do, and what we gather, and what we do here. Because in many ways, we don't care what the others think.
It doesn't matter what they think.
It does not matter what they think. As a matter of fact,
and I respect you even more, Playmaker, for that. Yeah.
You know what, Playmaker?
Saliva. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I had a team from Boston come to Linwood one year, and a couple of parents came to me and they said, "There's one song you have to find," and I said, "I'm already looking for it. I believe the bass starts like this."
Oh no!
Oh, I cranked it every time they played.
Along that dirty water.
I cranked that every time that they
Oh gosh. I didn't know what to make of that song the first time I heard it. But I love it. I love that song.
It identifies with the city of Boston.
Mm-hmm.
It identifies with the city of Boston. Then I had a kid come up to me and he said that I have one request of you. I said, all right, lay it on me. He says, you know I love The Rock. Oh, I said, you can go back to your seat now. I already know what you need. He said, all right, I'll be waiting to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So I announced him, and then I played this.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
And I'm going to leave that rolling because I think that should be how we close out today. Man, Chris Bass dropped some nuggets. He dropped some knowledge, but then again, he always does.
That's always.
Catch him this afternoon. I know I'm going to while I'm driving to East Central for my game tonight. Man, we love you guys. You are an inspiration. You are a treasure. You are a bronze god, and then some. Thank you, brother. Thank you so
much, man.
Oh, well, thank you, brothers, and thank everybody in the comment section. And I'll leave this as a tease for Baseline. Catch me on Facebook live today, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 p.m. Pacific time. And I was going to talk about it now, but when we had to cut the segment. But there was an article real quick about T.J. Holmes and Amy Robach from ABC's Good Morning America 3. Mm-hmm. And they quoted from People.com CBS's Gayle King.
Mm.
And I'm not a big fan of Gayle King at all, her or Mopra. So please stop by Baseline for my commentary about that, because Gayle King is not one of my favorite people.
He said Mopra.
Yes, I've heard him use that term one time before.
Right, because a lot of people I talk to, especially women, have exalted her to mother status.
Yes.
So
you put mother and Oprah together, and you got Mopra.
Well, I have no idea, but yes.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea either.
But listen to my rant today on Baseline of one of many topics. But yes, I would have to understand. You have to understand something. Mopra and Gayle King have no problem going after black men. No problem whatsoever.
Oh, they never had. They never had a problem doing that.
And that will be talked about later today.
Russell Simmons is an example. I'm sorry.
And she happens to be white, so I know they're not happy about that.
Nope. Not at all.
It's the truth. It's a black man and a white woman.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lordy.
So thank you so much for everything, and have a
we love you
fantastic
guys.
weekend, and hopefully get a chance to join me on Baseline later today at 5 p.m.
I will be stopping by.
So will I. I'll be on the road, but I'll be stopping by. Thank you, Bass.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, brother.
Love you, Bass.
Love you more.
Love you, man.
Don't soil this program by putting crap on it. Joe Buck, I cannot take him. I just no dice. I'm glad Carlos Boozer finally took the kiwi off his face. It should be on your shoes, not your face. It's kiwi shoe polish, for God's sake. LeBron should come clean about his age. I wish baby Jesus that I had alcohol in this container, because I need some after watching Screaming A. Smith.
Baby Jesus? Really?
6 pounds, 7 ounces. Go tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
Mopra.
He gives you those gems.
Just
he
Mopra.
gives it to us. He does.
Have a great week. Have a great weekend. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you,
Wise, watch it. That's for you, Victor.
Damn you. Damn you.
I gave you warning.
That's not a warning, man. That is not a warning.
I'm glad I was in another screen
And
when
that
that happened.
And that is because Victor said Monday, quote, "Take care and be good, or the ever living will get you."
He did say that.
Close quote.
Damn you, Victor. Damn you.
You don't wait till Victor. You should know it's not today. He gets you earlier in the week. Then he saves it for today, Victor. He saves it for today.
We're out of here. See you Monday.
Thank you for tuning in to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold, hard facts.